Well, hello there, welcome to Pringle Racing. Now, over the past few weeks, I've been trying to get my head around MX Legends. It's a motocross game, and as you can see, that is not this that I'm showing you here now. This is Ride 6, and the reason why we've jumped back to the tarmac is because Ride 6 have got a new DLC released for July, and that DLC is called the One of a Kind Pack. Now, I have to admit, the name did make me laugh. One of a kind. Yet somehow, we have 2 Ducati Panigales and 2 MV Augustas. Now, I may have pronounced those incorrectly, but I'm not entirely sure what one of a kind means, but never mind. And alongside, we get the return of the Argentinian Circuit, which I hadn't actually realised had disappeared from MotoGP 26, because it's no longer in this year's calendar. So that is a welcomed return. Now, if you're like me and you bought the Ultimate Edition, that entitles you to the Season Pass for this year and for next year. Now, since the game was released in February, we've had 4 DLCs, and the latest one being the One of a Kind Pack. The other 3 we've had are the Welcome Pack, the 101 Starter Pack, and the iconic Naked Bike Pack. We've also had 2 mini packs, which was made in Italy and made in Japan. Now, in total, that is 22 additional motorcycles and 2 additional circuits, one of those with 2 variants. Now, on paper, that's not that bad at all. Right, now, before I go any further, if you're looking for a detailed breakdown of every one of these bikes that in these packs, then I'm not the one for it. Yeah, you need to be checking out somebody who can actually pronounce the bikes correctly, and that guy is Robbo46. Check him out. He does a detailed breakdown of each of the DLCs. He does a brilliant job. But this video isn't really about reviewing individual bikes. Okay, it's about stepping back, looking at everything that we've received so far, and that's including the updates as well. And asking one simple question: is Ride 6 doing enough to keep us excited? You see, after playing every DLC so far, I keep coming back to the exact same conclusion. Everything is okay. And that's actually the problem. Nothing has disappointed me, yeah? Every DLC has been polished, every DLC has added something worthwhile, but then every DLC has just been okay. None of them make me want to feel and ring a mate up and say, you've got to give a go of this bike. Come on and try this, give this a go. I've never wanted to show anything that's happened. It just goes, oh, yeah, that's quite nice. And I think that's the problem. Now, don't get me wrong, the motorcycles themselves are absolutely gorgeous. Milestone are still, in my opinion, the best developers in the business when it comes to modelling motorcycles. The attention to detail is phenomenal. The sound's fantastic. The handling feels great. And this is why I feel Ride 6 lets itself down, because you barely get the opportunity to appreciate the bikes. Ride 3, Ride 4, Ride 5, you could rotate the motorcycles. You had a better way of actually reviewing the bikes. And I have covered this in another clip before, but in Ride 6, that experience almost disappears. And the bikes begin to blend together. Another Panigale, another Superbike, another variation that's something we've already got. Ironically, the DLC bike I probably enjoyed the most so far was the Triumph Trident, the one I showed at the very beginning of this clip. Not because it was the fastest, not because it was the most expensive, but simply it felt different. Maybe that's the thing that I don't know, maybe I'm being ridiculously picky here. So let me know, do you feel the same? On top of the DLC, we have actually had a couple of updates to the game as well. One of them, there was online weekly and monthly challenges, and I got quite excited with that. And sadly, if you check out my clip, I've done a full breakdown of that. It is pretty poor. It's very disappointing. The challenges allow you to use a rewind. They're not really challenges. I mean, one of them was to change your livery on a motorbike. That was your weekly challenge. That's not a challenge, it's a job. I have enough household jobs to do. I don't want to be doing that in a game. I want to be playing it. I want to try and set the fastest time. I want some sort of reward. So they need to look at that. They need to address that, whether it's community events, weekly challenges, just something about it they've got to do. Have a look with the Crew Motorfest. They seem to know what they're doing there. Everything there, something's happening every single week. Every month there's a new thing to chase. Ride 6 doesn't really have that feeling. Yeah? Milestone absolutely understand motorcycles better than probably anybody else, which is exactly why this frustrates me, because I honestly think they're playing it too safe. Ride 6 doesn't need to stop being a racing simulator, right? Far from it. Keep the racing circuits, keep the physics, keep the incredible bike models, but every month give us something completely unexpected. Imagine a Red Bull style quarry challenge, hill climbs, a mountain descents, supermoto events, I don't know, sidecar racing. Remember the sidecar racing? Why can't we have that? These aren't fantasy ideas, these are genuinely motorcycle disciplines. The cruise celebrates every corner of motorsport. Ride could celebrate every corner of motorcycle culture. Yeah, because here's the reality. Motorcycle games rarely make mainstream gaming news. But do you remember when TT Isle of Man Ride on the Edge 3 introduced open world exploration? People talked about it. Not because it was perfect, because it was different. Ride 6 needs moments like that. Now, before I finish, I want to completely have an honest answer here, okay? Now, be truthful. Did you click on this video because you thought this bike had been added to Ride 6? Go on, be honest. Now let me know in the comments, because if you did, you've just proved exactly the point I've been trying to make throughout this entire video. One thumbnail has probably generated more excitement than the 22 DLC motorcycles. And that's not because motorcycles are bad, they're not. They're beautifully modelled, Milestone always gets the parts just right, but this is a conversation starter. Take a look at the 2026 Ducati Diavel V4. Honestly, in my opinion, that single motorcycle excites me more than any other DLC we've received so far. Now imagine, just imagine if Milestone had introduced this as the headline motorcycle in one-of-a-kind pack. I mean, it cost £65,000. I honestly think the entire video would have had a completely different tone. And because this isn't just another Ducati, this is the sort of motorcycle that makes you stop scrolling. The sort of bike that makes you instantly think, I have to ride that. Can you imagine loading up Ride 6 and hearing that engine fire into life? And that's the point I'm trying to make. Every DLC doesn't need 10 motorcycles that are nice and okay. Every DLC just needs one motorcycle, just one, that makes every biker sit up and say, I have to try that. Maybe it's this Diavel. Or, what if it's the Arch motorcycle? Seriously, wouldn't you want to throw Keanu Reeves' motorcycle around the Nürburgring? Come on, that'd be so cool. Or maybe it's the brand new Norton. Have you seen that bike? Look at it, it is flipping gorgeous. Or maybe it's something completely unexpected. I honestly don't care what it is. I just want one motorcycle within every DLC that becomes the motorcycle everybody talks about. The bike that gets shared all over Reddit, the bike that fills YouTube with first impressions, the bikes that people want to reinstall Ride 6 and just give it a go. Because honestly, I don't think Ride 6 has a motorcycle problem. I think Ride 6 has a conversation problem. Everything is polished, everything looks fantastic, everything works, everything is just okay. Okay, and that's the problem. Where is the motorcycle that blows us away? Where is the reveal that makes every biker say, hey Milestone, you've absolutely nailed this one? Games don't just stay alive simply because they're technically good. They stay alive because now and then they create a moment that everybody's talking. And I genuinely believe Ride 6 has all the foundations to be the greatest motorcycle game ever made. It just needs more of those moments. And while you're at it, Milestone, can we have a bigger grid, please? I'm sorry, I had to say it. So anyway, here's my question to you. Forget licensing, forget cost, forget whether it's realistic. If you could just add one motorcycle to Ride 6, what would it be? And would you rather Milestone continue giving us 4 or 5 nice bikes every DLC, or one absolutely incredible motorbike? I genuinely would love to hear your comments here, so put them down. What would you like to see Ride do? I think there's a game that's got some potential. I mean, they even have their motocross heritage, which I can't see why they can't bring that in. Name me the bikes, name the things, let me know what you've done. Have I got a good point? Do you think I'm being a bit harsh with Milestone? I love the game, guys, I really do. I just want it to be better. That's it for now. Take care, and if you liked what you've seen so far, you know what you got to do. Take care, guys. Speak to you all very soon. See you later. Bye-bye.